Hi, Nick Brown here at Melville Oval, ahead of Hamilton Kangaroos' final training session before their season opener against South Warrnambool, and we're joined by Hamilton Kangaroos senior coach Matt Dunn. Dunny, it's an exciting feeling around the club.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, we've worked hard on our recruiting to get depth and quality into the club, and Saturday will be your first test and see how we've gone with that. And we're really aiming for 3 wins or 4 wins with the under 16 playing and even with the Boomers playing as well. So hopefully we can come away with a successful day down at South.
Got really good numbers on the track tonight as we watch the boys run a few laps there. A couple missing still, but do you go into this weekend full strength?
Oh, look, there's still a couple of injuries, but we're still taking a pretty strong side going through selection at the moment. We've probably got 30 blokes putting their hands up, and that means tough decisions for the coaches and selectors, but it also means we've got some depth in the club this year. So yes, there's a few injuries, but we're confident with the side we're taking in.
You had your third and final practice match at the weekend. Confident that everything's right heading into the season?
Yeah, we had a fairly comfortable win in the practice match. We probably like the way our forwards work together, and our back six work fairly well together as well. In the earlier practice matches, our midfield group showed some really positive signs. So across the board, we're fairly happy with what we've been able to achieve so far in the practice matches.
I know it's like trying to ask you to pick your favourite child, but who's impressed you the most in the off-season?
It's like trying to pick your favourite child, Brownie. But look, there's been a number of fellas who have really put their hand up. Guys like Jack Purcell, he did the hard yards in the gym over the pre-Christmas period and continued on sort of through January and February. So I'd really like to see him take a big step forward. You've got a young bloke like Rory Gill, who's again hardly missed a beat throughout the pre-season. He's only just turned 17, and he's another one that we'd like to see, really take that next step and become a really strong, consistent player for us.
On Saturday, you travel down to South Warrnambool to take on the Roosters under lights. It's their first game under lights at home. You've obviously played a few games here already. Is that much of an advantage?
It's not a huge advantage. We all train under lights for the whole year, so coming out and playing under lights isn't that really big a difference. Sometimes the weather can be a little bit different, can get a little bit dewy, but this time of the year it's not really a factor. So South played here when we played our first game of lights, so it's not brand new for them either, and they played us here again last year. So look, slightly different conditions, but I wouldn't say a huge advantage to either. On
paper, South look a really good team. They've got some ex-AFL players in their mix. Round one, they probably didn't get off to the start they wanted. A fair touch up there by Koroit, but what are you expecting from South?
Yeah, well, last year when we played South, they were very good with their use of the footy, particularly when they played here. When we played them down there, we really took it at them for 2 to 3 quarters, and they were able to come over topless in the end. But they'll be hurting from that loss against Koroit. Obviously, Koroit are going to be a benchmark again this year, so going down to them doesn't necessarily mean that there's issues at South. So we need to bring our best game, and we'll really worry about what we're doing. There's a few players we'll have a particular focus on from South, but our main concentration will be on how we're playing.
Fair to say the last couple of years that there have been some tough years for the club. This year you've recruited well, and obviously over the last couple of years you've got some good game time into some players that you already had. What can we expect from the Kangaroos in 2018?
I'd like to say we'll play finals footy, and I think 10 clubs in the Hampton League will have the same focus. That will be our aim, and then we're going to have to sit down and assess after 4, 5, 6 weeks and see exactly how we're travelling and where we reset our goals from there. But that'll be a target for us this year, and while we haven't had success as far as wins and losses goes in the last 2 years, the feeling around the club's been really strong, and that's something we want to continue. It's got to be a good place to be.
And again, the last couple of years, there has been some good support there from the supporters, but this year with a much stronger team, you'd be hoping that everyone gets around the club again?
Yeah, definitely. We've targeted a bit of size and experience, and we've been able to achieve that. So we're hoping when the games are on the line that that experience can really stand up for us. And as I say, those guys who have had a couple of years of experience now under their belts, 30, 40 games of footy, we'll be in a position we can win some of these games.
No worries, Dunny. Well, I think the boys have just finished their warm-up, so we'll let you go. Thanks very much for your time, and all the best for Saturday.
Cheers, no worries, Brownie. Thank you.